Law 23, jump man, of the 48 laws of power through the lens of truth. Let's look at it. Concentrate your forces. Conserve your resources and energies by concentrating your forces where you'll get the most benefit. Concentrate on mining the richest mine rather than a whole string of mines. People often feel distracted and pulled in many directions, which undercuts their energy and effectiveness at whatever they're trying to accomplish. The key is to prioritize your goals and concentrate your forces. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do is that thing that everybody is always doing, even though very few people succeed at it. Let's look at it. How many times have you heard it said that you need to figure out what it is that you want to do? You need to write it down. You need to keep it in front of yourself. And you need to commit to it. You need to do whatever you got to do so that one day you can do whatever it is that you want to do, which is that thing that you keep looking at that keeps you under the impression that you always have something that you need to do. But what if I told you that need doesn't exist? Need is an illusion that you believe exists that is an absolute fabrication from your imagination in the dark. Your ignorance is what drives need to appear as real. You just don't know no better. The baby think it might be a monster in the closet and won't go get in the bed by himself. Because he don't know that monsters ain't even real. And you submit and give your power and your energy and your efforts to the defeating of so many monsters just because you don't know that the closet is empty. Yeah, you need to get your priorities together. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you tried to? How many times have you pushed refresh, reset it, and set out to get it right this time, only to get distracted with your own discontentment, your own dissatisfaction, and run yourself in a complete circle to the point where you're once again sitting yourself down, telling yourself, you need to get your priorities together. You done put the wrong thing first again. You're suffering because of it. Let's make some adjustments that you see as fit. And let's start out again. Let's get it together. Let's get it right this time. And every time you find yourself right back in the same spot that you started in, every time you find yourself in the same experience, looking goofy to the people that can see your patterns, but you so deep in it and you be so caught up in the legion of voices that be going on and carrying on the inside of you, that you done grown addicted to listening to and following, believing that they navigating you to some type of path of righteousness and completion, that you can't even see the pattern that everybody else that isn't caught up in their own pattern with you can clearly see. And I don't say that because you should be concerned with the way people see you, and you shouldn't care. But you do so much when you're caught up in that illusionary realm, following those illusionary voices, hiding from people so that they don't see you. And I'm just trying to let you know that it's all a vain attempt because we see you. I mean, right here, even Robert Greene says it. The same is true when it comes to yielding power. Concentrate single-mindedly on your key goal and you will achieve it because your efforts and your resources won't be diluted. You won't be divided and split up in so many little pieces, so your attention and your focus can manifest what it is that you have set your aim to accomplish. But how's that working for you? How's it been going for you? Staying on course inside of a society that was literally weaved together premeditatedly in an attempt to keep you distracted. How's that going for you? When the food that you eat is driving you to have a reaction to it in the physical that keeps you tired, sluggish, sick. How's that been going for you? Every day you wake up with one goal on your mind to accomplish that one goal, you end up setting 1,000 other goals, and you end up in little rabbit holes. Inside of each one of these goals that has 1,000 other goals accomplished to it to actually get to the boss level at the end, which is what you wanted in the first place. Now you're going through a whole bunch of things that are connected to this pursuit of the imagination that you had in the beginning. Now you out here talking about, man, it's just me sacrificing for what I want. Sacrifice. See how the chase of your illusion has you submitting to illusions? Sacrifice isn't even real. Sacrifice is not fitting of a son or daughter of Source. Sacrifice was never a requirement. Sacrifice was something that man concocted in an attempt to feel restored with a creator that had never genuinely disconnected from them. So let's jump over into A Course in Miracles real quick and look at some of these haymakers that we got to eat today. Your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses. Your partnership with an illusionary world, your partnership with an alternate reality, makes it hard for you to hear the whisper on the inside of you navigating you towards the fulfillment that you're always chasing. Making it hard for them to reach your own awareness. They're there. The whisper is there always. You're never forsaken. You've never been left on your own. You're never by yourself. But your awareness has been given to the distorted perception of where you believe that you are. So the reality is something that you give no attention to, no focus to, because you're already singly focused on where you think you are and what you think you gotta do because of what you think you need. The confusion of miracle impulses with physical impulses is a major perceptual distortion. Physical impulses are misdirected miracle impulses. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. You be scared. You be scared of fully committing to what you hear on the inside. You be scared of fully committing to them nudges and pushes of the divine because you think it's going to cost you your desires. But your desires are costing you the satisfaction and the fulfillment that you can only find by following the nudges and whispers. The shadows and forms hasn't been satisfying. You've still been hungry every time. Try the real substance, right? This is because not doing it is a denial of self. Not doing God's will is a denial of self. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. This is because to not do it is a denial of self. Denial of self results in illusions, while correction of the error brings release from it. The truth will set you free. Your partnership with lies will torment you. Do not deceive yourself into believing that you can relate in peace to God or to your brothers with anything external. Child of God, you were created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Don't forget this. The love of God, for a little while, must still be expressed through one body to another, because vision is still so dim. You can use your body best to help you enlarge your perception so you can achieve real vision, of which the physical eye is incapable. Come on, man. There's so much that you can't see with your eyeballs. I like to say eyeballs. Learning to do this is the body's only true usefulness. Learning to see beyond sight is the body's only true usefulness. It's, I'm living beyond what I can see so that you can see that there is life beyond your sight, and that's the only usefulness of my body. Ooh, you think it's so many other benefits to you. Let the truth hit and let's move. This right here is crazy, right? Fantasy is a distorted form of vision. Fantasy is a distorted form of vision. Fantasies of any kind are distortions. Jokes, games, just imaginations, passing pictures, entertainment, options, no, distortions, perversions. They are distortions because they always involve twisting perception into unreality. Actions that stem from distortions are literally the reactions of those who know not what they do. Actions that stem from distortions are literally the reactions of those who know not what they do. When you persecute them for persecuting you, you are no different from them. Neither one of y'all know what y'all doing. Leave them people alone and continue to use your body to show them that there is a life beyond sight. Come on now. Come on now. That ain't me preaching. That's truth. Fantasy is an attempt to control reality according to false needs. You got a whole bunch of things that you think you need to be okay, that you need to be fulfilled, that you need to be satisfied, that you need to be happy. And when you don't have those things, you need to distort reality. You need an alternate expression so that you don't have to have one of them little fits that you be having because you don't like to do that. Not because it's not beneficial and constructive for you. You don't like to do it because it's embarrassing. You're afraid of what the people around you who do the same thing will think after you have one of them fits and throw yourself on the floor and kick your feet and scream and show that you have no divine spiritual home training. Twist reality in any way, and you are perceiving destructively. See anything but truth, and it's destructive. Fantasies are a means of making false associations and attempting to obtain pleasure from them. Fantasies are a means of making false associations. This is like that. That is like this. And you do all of that to keep yourself comfortable in your illusionary picture that is always crumbling. You remain a second away from ground zero every time you partner with an illusion. And you know that. And that's why you walk on eggshells, not with other people, with yourself, with your beliefs, with your paradigms, with what it is that you perceive, what it is that you interpret when other people are speaking and inputting engagement and interaction with you. You got to be real careful what you allow to run through your processor, because you be lying to yourself so much. And if you let the wrong thing or the wrong person get in, they're going to cause your lie to crumble before you're ready. But although you can perceive false associations, you can never make them real except to yourself. Your false associations, your fantasies, do not poison the world the way you think they do. You're not punishing other people the way you think you can. You're inflicting harm on yourself You're committing the suicide that you say you would never. You're spiritually diving off the cliff with no parachute. You believe in what you make. If you offer miracles, you will be equally strong in your belief in them. If you practice your power, nobody will have to convince you that it's your power. The strength of your conviction will then sustain the belief of the miracle receiver. You won't have to depend on your words or even your actions to convince the person who you're trying to extend your goodness to. Your conviction, your knowledge of its existence for the both of you will be strong enough to operate alone. You don't need them to believe it. Fantasies become totally unnecessary as the wholly satisfying nature of reality becomes apparent to both the giver and the receiver. You've only created the fantasies in an attempt to escape the evil and wickedness of the reality that you've been interpreting as oh so bad and oh so dark because your lens is dark. It's your ignorance that hasn't allowed for you to see the beauty and the goodness of the experience and everything within it. So as you drop the shade, drop the tint on your lens, and you start to see things as they really are, you won't need the fantasy land, because the fantasy land will become to you what it has always been in truth: darkness. Reality is lost through usurpation. Usurpation. Remember, we talked about what usurp is. You think that you can obtain the power for yourself by force. You ain't asking for permission. You're not receiving what has been freely given to you. You're trying to sneak in through the back door and take it and run off. So let's read the sentence and see if we can really process what that sentence is telling us. Reality is lost through usurpation, which produces tyranny. Remember, when you're trying to take something illegitimately, you're not asking, you're not moving righteously, nicely, kindly, peacefully. It takes violence, force. Yeah. As long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. So you mean to tell me this whole experience is not about me breaking the chains? This ain't about me being free. This ain't about the shackles being off on my wrist so I can dance, or whatever Mary said. You mean to tell me that one sheep that got away, that had the other 99 waiting on the shepherd to get back so that they could move as the collective unit that they had been the whole time? You mean to tell me that picture wasn't just a cute scripture meant to become cliche? So you mean to tell me that was a picture of the universal experience that we are all inside of? Facts. Complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded. I thought you needed to prioritize. I thought you needed to write your goals down. Well, complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded. When I set my mind on the things above, when my focus is on reality and truth, the only goal that I have is the complete restoration of all that is true and all that is mine, has been mine, and forever will be mine, that I was absent of when I was out of my mind. So let's wrap this up. The ego's goal is as unified as the whole spirits. And it is because of this that their goals can never be reconciled in any way or to any extent. You keep trying to mix and blend two contradictory worlds, and it ain't gonna happen. The truth will never mix and blend with your lies and your illusions. To have your lies and illusions, you must separate your attention to the truth, and you will be fully engaged in more lies, illusions, and the fear and the darkness and everything else that accompanies that. It's a world. It's no different than a city. And if I'm in a city, if I'm in Miami, the beach is there. The lights are there. The traffic is there. The planes are flying over my head. The button-ups bust open with the taco meat on the Chicos, with the shades. They're there because that is what the city includes. Your illusionary world includes illusions, fear, and a host of other lies. The truth has none of that. All of that is only existent in your illusionary world that you keep returning to. You say you want out of it so bad. Well, partner with truth. Recognize, realize, come to wholly the understanding that what you've been in is your miscreation, nobody else's fault. It's not inevitable. It's not something that you had to endure to get where you were designed to go because God was testing you or the devil was challenging you. Get off of that. You and your paradigms, your broken ideas, your allegiance with your ego took you to a place best described as hell. The ego always seeks to divide and separate. Always seeks to divide and separate. But you be going to your ego when things are disconnected and you want to sever them. But the ego's goal is always to divide and separate. When somebody want to distance themselves from you and it's not your choice, you go into the legion of voices that's the expression, the mouthpiece of the ego, and you go hunting for an idea to reconnect it. But the ego's goal is always to divide and separate. If you knew that, would you listen to that voice to reconcile and to connect? The Holy Spirit always seeks to unify and to heal. As you heal, you are healed, because the Holy Spirit sees no order of difficulty in healing. It's all the same. I know you think that you was way lower than everybody else and way worse than everybody else, and ain't nobody did the things and seen the things that you done been through and overcame. It's okay. It's okay. You don't get any extra points. The same creator made you perfect, made me perfect. We both forgot that. We misrepresented ourselves and misrepresented our creator. It's okay. We don't have to compete on whose dysfunction was more dysfunctional as if there's some trophy to be won. Sadly, there is the shadow and form of a trophy to be won, which is the attention and acceptance of a world of people who are addicted to dysfunction from familiarity. Healing is the only way to undo the belief in differences, being the only way of perceiving the sonship as one. You got to stop seeing everybody and everything as different and seeing yourself as superior to those things that are all different and inferior to you, and the things that you approve of. like your own creations, like the things that you manifested with your hands and the ideas that you managed to pull into the physical that you can take people to and point it and show, look here, man, I did this, man, I started up. You know you like to do that, and that's really the only thing that you see as highly as you see yourself. This perception is therefore in accord with the laws of God, even in a state of mind that is out of accord with His. The strength of right perception is so great that it brings the mind into accord with His, because it serves His voice, which is in all of us. To think you can oppose the will of God is a real delusion. The ego believes that it can, and that it can offer you its own will as a gift. You do not want it. It is not a gift. It is nothing at all. God has given you a gift that you both have and you both are. When you do not use it, you forget that you have it. By not remembering it, you do not know what you are. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, because that is where the laws of God operate truly. And they can operate only truly because they are the laws of truth. But seek this only because you can find nothing else. There is nothing else. God is all in a very literal sense. All being is in Him who is all being. Ooh, that's heavy. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, which is not in the clouds, it's within you. It's not in the cloud. Heaven is within you. Heaven is now. Heaven is in the present moment, truthfully, seeing with a single eye, knowing that God is all in all in a very literal sense. So there's no need for me to worry right now. There's no need for me to fear right now. There's no need for me to be harboring something that I did in the past, not forgiving myself or not forgiving someone else right now. There's no need for me to be imagining how things can go left in front of me, because God is all in all in a very literal sense. Lock in.